This is TWiT.
ULA, which is a partnership between Boeing and Lockheed Martin,
United Launch Alliance launched their Vulcan rocket, their long anticipated Vulcan rocket, but it worked, which is, that's how ULA rolls. Takes longer, costs more money, works every time, and has basically, since they redesigned the Atlas from an ICBM into their workhorse of 25 years. And now they have the Vulcan, which is their new rocket with engines from Blue Origin. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I have my own Vulcan rocket as well.
Where's mine, by the way? You got that from them, I'm thinking, right?
I did, yeah. United Launch Alliance. Actually, they sent me this. It's like for folks who can't see it, it's a 2-foot model of oh my gosh of the Vulcan rocket, and it's 6 side boosters. But unfortunately, when it arrived, all 6 of the strap-on boosters had broken off. So I actually spent the weekend before the launch gluing them on.
Okay.
Super glue.
Yeah,
Okay.
We got a headline here. What I really want to know is, where's mine? I'm sure you mentioned to them that your good friend and co-host.
Well, we invited them on the show, so hopefully they'll come on to tell us about this amazing launch, which I'm going to talk about right now, because as this week started, ULA began it with a bang. The United Launch Alliance with their first ever Vulcan Centaur rocket. This will be ULA's new workhorse rocket to replace the Atlas V when they retire. There are not very many flights of that in the next 5 years or so, and they've sold a lot of flights on this. And, it's the first launch of a rocket. We've already seen SpaceX launch a brand new rocket twice, and it didn't make it to space. So you always expect maybe things aren't going to go that great. It has been, and this was delayed from Christmas Eve too, in their initial attempts to launch it. And it was a stunning success. The launch part of it. This was they launched it with 2 solid rocket boosters and the twin BE-4 engines built by Boeing, which they had, by Blue Origin. Yeah. By Blue Origin. And Blue Origin had a lot of problems with this engine getting it to ULA for this rocket. So kind of like a twofer here. You get the unqualified success of the launch part of this mission, which says that ULA's new rocket seems like it's ready to go. I mean, it seemed spotless, a flawless countdown, flawless launch, and it looked absolutely gorgeous with this pre-dawn launch. And then you have the first orbital launches of the BE-4 engine for Blue Origin, which wants to put a half dozen of these things at the bottom end of their new Glenn rocket, which this week they rolled out to the launch pad for some tests. The first stage of that, they know now that engine will get all the way to space with a full burn. So really just spectacular to watch. I was so impressed at how smooth it was. But there was kind of a flip side. The payload on this, and this is our second story. Both these stories, by the way, you can find them at space.com, but they were widely covered. The second story from this launch is that the first payload on this rocket was this private moon lander called Peregrine, built by Astrobotic. They're based in Pittsburgh, and it separated, and was deployed in its nominal orbit on time. So ULA's job was done, and unfortunately, this mission, which is NASA's first commercial lunar payload services mission. It's their first partnership to try to get NASA payloads to the moon on a private lander. It developed a leak in its propulsion system. It is limping through space right now. It will not be able to land on the moon. So it's a bit of a kind of a sad ending for what was a glorious launch. And so every day this week, as we're recording this kind of hardy lander has been fighting for its life. It's about 94% of the way to the moon, but it will not be able to land there next month as scheduled, which is kind of sad.
Hey, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check out This Week in Space. You can find us on your favorite podcast app or see the link in the description below. See you there.